What's up, guys? I'm here with Reno James. He's an online personality. He has a lot of followers across all of his platforms. He's amassed a following doing day in the life videos. Yeah, Reno, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me today. Josh, we connected through a mutual friend, and he is one of the best cinematographers that I've worked with. So he's helped me a lot, and I'm doing a marathon tomorrow, and he's going to be helping me film it. So
thanks, man.
We're excited for that.
Yeah, dude. So about this marathon, what's going through your head right now? Like if you weren't telling me this right now, what's going through your head?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, hasn't hit me yet because I've been so busy with work and everything, and I'm like, I just thinking in my head, I'm going to wake up and run. I don't think it's hit me how long it's going to be and how painful it's going to be. As long as like my knee, shins don't hurt, I think I'll be fine though.
Were you having knee problems?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Having knee problems like 4 weeks ago, I had a really killer week of training, probably went up to like over 50 miles, and it was like hard. Like I was running with friends and I was like, pushing myself, not stretching, no recovery. And yeah, after a while, like mile 12, and after that, my knees were starting to hurt. So I took a little step back and, did some active recovery, stretching, and it's been feeling better. So now I'm just focusing on being 100% healthy for race day.
So you're partnered with Brooks Running Shoes, right?
Yes.
So
not paid, but yes.
Not paid, but yeah. So have you seen a difference in what shoes you're wearing? Because I know, like for me, I used to run a lot. I swam my whole life. I know you swam in college as well. But I would notice the shoes I was wearing, it would be really hard on my joints.
Yeah, 100%.
Have you noticed a difference?
I've tried a lot of different shoes. I always come back to Brooks. Like I've tried I'm going to say this wrong, the Hokas. The Hokas.
Yeah.
Those ones, like there's so much padding on them. Sometimes I don't like that. It's like too much. And it's just too much fluff where I just like the simplicity of, Brooks has always just been, I put them on and I always feel good. There's never questions of, is this the right one? Is this the wrong one? But I recommend everyone's got to try on air because you'll find what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah. So on those, what's the longest run you've done to prepare?
Only 20 miles.
20? I feel
that's
like
good, but it's like the thought of 6 more.
Yeah, dude. It's definitely like, it doesn't seem like a lot because it's like, you've already done 20 miles and 6 more, but like, I'm sure that last 6 is like a mental.
Yeah.
So talk about that mental, like on that 20-mile run, what was going through your mind? Like, were you mad at yourself? Were you like, I don't want to do this? Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, the 20-mile run was actually a lot of fun. So I normally like do my runs Saturday morning, my long runs. And this one I did with my friends on a Sunday night. It was like 8:30 p.m. We waited all day to do it because, people were busy. And we went really slow and it was really fun. It wasn't until like mile 16 where my stomach was just like empty. I had no more food left. And that's when like fatigue, it's like out of your control. You just get so weak and you're like just kind of going along. It was super dark. But I don't know, with the adrenaline and with like the proper nutrition, I really think it won't be that bad to finish that like last 6 miles. I think I could have did it that night, honestly. But I was also going like really slow where tomorrow I'm going to go fast because I'm going to be excited. And that's going to, be different than starting off a 20-mile run at 10-minute miles and just going to the distance rather than the speed. Yeah.
Do you have a plan like what your mile pace should be?
So if I go under 4 hours, which I think would be pretty cool. They say you're not supposed to set a time goal for your first one. So obviously I'm going to try to finish it. But if I could go into 4 miles, I think that'd be pretty respectable. And I think that is like around a 9-minute and 10-second mile pace for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So my plan is like start first 5 miles, like honestly at 9:30. And that's going to be hard for me to do, but I really want to go slow. So the ending is fun and I enjoy it and I can like go fast. If I can do that, I think I could hold 9s for a while.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely like really hard to start slow.
It is going to be really hard.
Because the adrenaline's rushing and you're like, and you're going to feel so good.
Yeah, exactly.
So you went on a run this morning, right?
Yeah, I did 1 mile this morning as like a little shakeout. And like, I was just feeling so good, but I was like, dude, 26 more of these is like a totally different story.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that'd be hard. Because I just know in swimming, like every time I was a sprinter, so every time I do a longer event, I'm like, oh man, I feel good. And then it's like, and you just die.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
100%.
saying?
And in swimming, I was like middle distance. So I definitely do have a better aerobic than sprint. But yeah, swimming, my races were still like 5 minutes long, So big difference.
Yeah, so you did what, 500, 200?
I did 4 IM, 2 IM, and 2 fly. So yeah, that's why I said like that mid distance. But no, I hated the long freestyles.
Yeah, dude. So how would you compare like the mental battle of swimming to the mental battle of running? Is it similar? Is it the same? Is it different?
I love talking about this because I'm super biased. We are super biased, but swimming is 10 times harder than running. Like at the end of the day, for me, swimming is so hard mentally because, you know, you don't talk to anybody. There's no music. It's you and your brain. You're looking at the bottom of the pool. You can't breathe. There's so much more technique involved. Like there's so much more that goes into swimming. For me, running was like, I'm outside. I'm with friends. I can listen to music. I also don't have a coach. It's just me against me. There's no like, you know, team atmosphere. There's not much pressure. So for me, running has like been free. It's been fun. I don't see it as, if anything, it's been good for mental health. No like negativeness. Versus swimming, obviously, swimming can really affect you negatively when things aren't going good. And it's also a lot of glory in that sport. But just the difference of competitiveness from how I felt and how I looked at swimming versus how I look at running, it's been really a good transition.
Yeah. I also think like having a coach is also a lot different because like something you have to do versus something that you want to do.
Yeah.
So what made you want to run this marathon? Like, was it something you thought would be good for YouTube? Is it something that you want to do personally, something that you wanted to prove to yourself?
100%. So I've always wanted to do these type of things. I think like a triathlon, doing those eventually would be really cool since I have the swimming background. I always wanted to do a marathon, and I was running a lot this summer, but only like 10 to 20 miles a week. So like a decent amount, but not like training for a marathon. And I was like, well, dang, I've been consistent with it. I got a pretty good foundation. I was like, I missed the Cleveland Marathon because I was living in Phoenix when the Cleveland one would happen. And I was like, okay, well, there's one in Columbus. My family's in Columbus, so I have a place to stay. I'm 8 weeks away from it. So if I just really start pushing long runs, I think I could do it. And then if I do one next summer, I'll be way more experienced. So I was thinking long term, I'm like, if I can get this first one out of the way, then now for next summer, I can plan it and have like, you know, maybe goals, whatever I want it to be. Of course, I was thinking about YouTube. Of course, I was like, how cool would it be to do like a little marathon series? And I learned so much about how hard it is to film while you're running and trying to make content. It's like nearly impossible. So it's like, I know for the future, right, I'm going to have to separate film sessions and runs. You can't run 20 miles and then have a good quality vlog with it.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where, you know, now next summer I know. And I love doing things where I can make content around. You know, I think it makes it more fun. It makes it entertaining. It's good documentation for me, so.
Yeah. I also think it's hard to stop when you're running. Because if you're doing 20 miles and you're stopping to set up a camera.
Yeah.
Like, then the lactic acid just floods your legs, and then getting started is like way harder, you know? Like you hear about these people running ultra marathons and like you can't stop because if you stop and sit down, you're done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like David Goggins, like I don't know if you know much about him.
Oh, I read his book.
Like
I used to love
stop and he just shit his pants because he couldn't control like what's coming out of his body.
I got the dude wipes ready for tomorrow.
Sponsor?
What?
Dude Wipe sponsor?
Oh, no. They just gave it me one of my pickup packet for the race.
Oh, nice.
But yeah.
So when you make content, you know, is it different seeing, I guess, when did you start YouTube?
I started YouTube back in high school. It was my first time I realized I was like, wow, this is a really cool like outlet that anybody can do. And like literally all you need is a phone and you have a very good camera. You can upload it. So I just thought that was super cool. I experimented with it, tried to do it with friends, you know. But the thing is, you know, when that was first starting, like back a few years ago, it was super not common for people to do it. So like you care what people think when you're in high school. So I never like really tried to pursue it. And then when I started going to college during COVID, which is I feel like when a lot of creators really blew up, was during that like 2020 era, which I was posting during that time, but those channels are gone. Like there were just other channels that I started working on. And then it wasn't until after I graduated college when I really like full sent it. And that's when like I was like, if I want to do the YouTube thing, I'm gonna have to post it on, you know, Instagram, TikTok, short form content. That started doing well. And that's when I found out the market of short form content and how like powerful it is for brands to directly sponsor their products, advertise their products to an audience that they want. It's just way cheaper and way more efficient for brands to do that. So I was like, wow, this is a good market to be in. I'm making some money from it. The original goal was just to traffic people from my YouTube channel, but I found a lot of enjoyment in short form content as well. But the ultimate, like, I love the YouTube, and I never want to forget the dream of, I wanted to make YouTube videos. So right now, like my YouTube videos, the whole channel is in a deficit in terms of making money, but I don't care, because it's like, I love how the short form content is, you know, making some money, and I get to help support my YouTube channel for it, because the YouTube, I don't want to forget about that. It's just, it means a lot to me, versus the short form content, it's a grind. You have to do that every day. So after 8 months of doing it every single day, you really start to, you know, feel the grind.
Yeah, well, you think that short form would be easier, because it's like, oh, it's just like, I just have to make a 30-second video. It sounds simple, but like, you know, me and you both know that's not the case, you know, because it has to be constant. You know, people who are putting like a bunch of output are doing better, you know, because they're experimenting, and they might post 20 videos and one of them might pop off, or they're posting 100 videos and one might pop off. But that, all it takes is that one. Yeah, literally. You know, but that's the tough thing. And I think YouTube is still the last great, I guess, platform out there to really tell a story, because you can tell a story on social media, but I personally just have a really big soft spot for YouTube, because I think attention spans are getting so much shorter, and like people are paying attention less to things. They're watching videos less, especially longer videos.
There's a lot more like art, thought out process to YouTube.
Yeah, but the projects, I'm working on a project right now, the Half Dome hike that I did. First of all, my job is editing and filming, and like editing can be really like really, really annoying at sometimes, because you're just constantly, like, for everything you shoot, the shoots are really fun, but then you have to edit it. It's like, I know you can relate to that with editing your day of the life videos, but this video I'm working on right now, every time I go up to my computer to edit, it's like, oh, I really want to, like, this is inspiring me. I want to create. And I don't really get that from short form. Short form feels like a transaction almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's where it's like, editing for short form, it's simple, right? It's quick and easy once you get the hang of it. YouTube, I actually found a lot of enjoyment in editing for YouTube. Like you said, like, you see this vision, and I feel like a lot of people think they just put it off because they're like, well, I'm not going to want to edit. And like, that's something I would have thought too. It's very easy to learn now. There's so many different platforms. There's YouTube videos to teach you. But like, one of my favorite parts of making a YouTube video would be putting all the film into, like, I use Final Cut Pro, and just going through it. And it's like, where is this going to go? Because there's sometimes I put it in and I have no idea what the story is going to be. Like, it's a day in the life. I'm like, this is a boring day in the life, but how can I make it so, you know, it's relatable, it's engaging, it's, you know, little things here and there that might make you smile, or might be like, oh, that's kind of cool. How to make it cinematic, right? Like, I knew nothing about any of this, so my knowledge is just like increasing. I know 1% of everything still. I know very little, but I love that. It makes it fun. There's no right or wrong for me, because everything I do is like low-key, not the best quality, but it's like exciting to know it's just going to get better.
Yeah, dude.
And that long-term mindset is where it's going to pay off.
Yeah, and I'm sure you can relate to this, but like, you just have to start. And a lot of people, and including me, have done this, where you just are like, it's not perfect right now, I can't start it yet. Like, even with this podcast that you're watching right now, it's like, for so long, I was like, it has to be perfect. I have to have a beautiful location like we're in right now. I have to have the best guests. I need to do all this stuff. But I realized, like, you can't do that, because you can't just skip that learning phase when you first start, because you learn way more from that phase than just like jumping right into it and thinking it's just going to be good right away.
Yeah. I think perfectionism it's really hard. This industry is really hard for people that are perfectionists, and that's something where I'm not. Like, I'm pretty sloppy, and like I look at things and I'm like, if it's not standard, it's fine. I try to do better with it now because obviously it's a very important. But looking back, like, I didn't care. It was like looking back at my first videos, they were so bad, and I'm sure in 2 years from now I'm gonna look back on the videos I'm making now and I'm gonna think they're bad. But that's not what's important. What's important is really getting it out. Like, when somebody comes up and they want to like talk about it, and they haven't like to talk about it as they want to start making content, and they haven't posted a single video, I'm like, it's very hard to talk to somebody that hasn't even posted one, because you don't even know if you're gonna like it. Like, post at least 10, 50, 100 videos and then see if you like it, because if you do this for a year and stop, it's dead. Like, there's nothing that's gonna come out of it once you stop. So you have to love it to the point where you see yourself doing it for a very long time. I feel like a lot of people kind of give social media like it's very simple. It's very like, if you start, you'll blow up and then you kind of have it. But it's really like, if I stopped posting a day, I wouldn't make $1. I wouldn't, like, there's nothing that's actually built. It's very much just like a part-time gig, like,
Yeah. And I think a lot of people have this issue where, like, kind of what I was saying before, they have this idea in their head and they don't get it out into the world. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's transactional. Like, people are posting for the sole intent that it will go viral or that it will do numbers or make them more or build their brand up. But like, then it doesn't do well, and then these people, they get depressed because they're like, I must have no worth because my videos aren't doing well. And I think we have to move away from that mindset. I think like short form content has taught us in a way to do that, but I think we have to move away from that, because at the end of the day, like, I look back to like when Instagram was a new thing, like especially Instagram Reels, or like YouTube was a new thing. Like, people were just putting out videos that they truly were just like creating something for the first time, and they felt really passionately about it, and it still exists, but it seems like it's harder and harder to come by something that's not like just trying to get views or just trying to build a brand, which is all like valid things to use social media for, and I think it's changing now to where that's the case. But have you kind of had those thoughts yourself, or have you kind of struggled with like creating versus like
100%. Like, comparison is the thief of all joy, I first want to say. So when you start comparing yourself to other people and stuff, you are going to put yourself in a really bad spot, because there is always going to be somebody that is better than you. And like, another thing I want to go back to when we were talking about how the perfectionist of, like, if you posted one perfect video, right? A perfect video. If it's your first video, that video is not going to get any views. But if you post 100 shitty videos, I am telling you, one of those videos might do decently well. And it's like, that right there is all you need to know about. Just post it. If it sucks, dude, 100 people are going to see it. On the scale of views, that's not that many people. It is a lot. If you put 100 people in a room, that's really respectable. So that's what I think when people post and they're like, I'm only getting 100 views. I'm like, that's pretty cool to think 100 people is watching your stuff. Now make some value to it where, they can appreciate it more. But now going back to the what you were saying, what was like the original question for a minute again?
I was asking, like, have you felt, was there ever something you posted that didn't do well and you felt that maybe like it kind of hurt you because you were hoping it was going to do well? Like, have you ever?
100%. It's like the funniest thing. You'll put money, you'll put so much time into a video that will flop. One of my best videos ever on YouTube, I post every Sunday. I woke up late. I think I was hungover. I woke up at like 8, drank coffee, laid around all day, and I was like, I have nothing to post this Sunday. So I was like, let me just whip up together a really quick video. And it was like, how much money I've made. I just hit 10,000 subs that weekend. And I was like, how much money have I made on YouTube? And it took me maybe 3 hours to make. It was like me sitting in my room talking, a screen recording of me going through. And that's a very clickbaity thing, how much money I made. So learning that does make sense why it did so well. But that's my best viewed video. I made it in 3 hours on like a depressing Sunday. And I'm like, there's somewhere, oh my gosh, it takes me weeks to make, and it will get like, 5,000 views. It's like, that's really good for me. But like, not compared to what this other one got. I got like 50K, and I was like, it's just really amazing. But you got to post what you want to post, because I like to think of it as, let's say you had a video go viral and it was a video you hated making. Okay, is that what you want to do for the rest of your life? Like, pranks do really well. I know I'm not a prankster. When I was a kid, I was like, oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Looking back, that would be horrible. If that was my job, to do something that makes me very uncomfortable, that it's really hard to do, you know, could get you in trouble. It's like,
you'll probably have to fake at some point because you have to put out so much volume.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, that is, if you can find what you like, that will make the longevity way easier. And it's like a marathon, not a sprint. So, you know, if it takes slower, really try to think, okay, well, what kind of brand am I making from this? You know, even like the short form videos that do really well, that you, like you were saying, how it's just like kind of like a product. Some of those aren't even building a brand. Like, if it's just like a funny 5-second video, there's no brand in what whoever made that or whatever posted that. There could be for some specific creators, but if it's just like a random viral video on your page, that might not be anything for a brand. That's why I loved the lifestyle content, and I was happy that it worked out how it did, because there's a lot of ways you can, you know, plug in a product in there, or there's just like, there's a lot of character to, okay, what is my day in the life like? What is my lifestyle like? Where people that can relate to certain things of my day might be interested in, you know, staying tuned, and eventually they'll fade off because I'm not interesting anymore. But maybe 2 years later they'll come back and be like, oh, this guy's still doing this. What's he up to now? You know, It's like something that just because they don't watch it, they always can come back. You know, they remember. I feel like it's a really ongoing thing that's good for the algorithm. I think lifestyle content is great.
Yeah, dude. Do you see your content evolving into something different, something new? Do you plan to just keep doing what you're doing and see what happens?
I feel like it's always changing, so you got to be versatile. And like I said, you got to make what you want. So, you know, there's going to be a day where I don't want to make day in the life videos, and that day eventually will come, and it'll probably be when, like, maybe there's significant people in my life where if they don't maybe want to be in it, or like whatever it may be, I'm not going to do it forever. So it's like, eventually I will change. Like, when I first made my YouTube channel, I only talked about finance stuff. I was like talking about what stocks to buy. I made a video and I bought Bitcoin at like $20,000. Looking back, I wish I had more money to put more in. I put like $50 in because I was poor. But oh my gosh, like, that's all I did. And then I realized, okay, my my major in college was finance. I'm going to be working for a bank. Like, it's like, do I want my whole life just to be revolved around this? No, I wanted my creative hobby to be something a little bit different. And I have to say, I've been really getting into like film and, you know, like learning all about it. And I never thought in a million years I would like photography, but now I'm like, when a picture isn't centered, it bugs me. I'm like, why is this not centered? I never used to like process any of that stuff before. So it's really cool to just, I think it's a great creative outlet to just spend your time. If, you know, it's better than watching TV. I always think of it. I'm like, what else would I be doing?
Yeah, dude. Honestly, when I was starting photography in 2019, I got a camera for Christmas. And before then, I was like, photographers, like, that's just, I never thought of it. I was like, that's nothing I would ever do, or at least I thought I would never do. And it's so peaceful, and it's so like, you're not thinking about anything else when you're doing it, and you're working on these. That's like, oh, how do I take this picture? And then once I got into video, that was infinitely more complicated, and then it's like a whole new thing that I discovered. And it's cool that you're getting into it, man. But like, that video that we worked on about your longest run, that we filmed, that you said that was your favorite, or the most produced piece of content you were ever able to create. Like, how do you feel about that, and what, moving forward, does that change the quality of your videos and how you want to present yourself? Yeah,
I really want them to be higher quality. And that's where it's like, I'm not an expert in these things. So it's like, it's really good to outsource these people. Like, I'm just now starting to work with an editor. I think this is a great example. Like, I've been editing for years now. I know how to do it. And I'm kind of like, I've reached the max of how much better I want to get at editing. It's like, I don't want to waste any more time trying to get better at this, because it's not sustainable. Like, I waste so many weekends editing. And I'm like, okay, eventually I need to get a life. So like, I can't waste every Sunday editing for 6 hours. So I got somebody to help edit. And I'm like, this is so great. because, and I'll get back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so great because, he is going to be better than me at this job, and it's saving me time. Just like how like helping with photography or with the videos for that marathon run, like I could do this by myself and it'd be lower quality. It would take me 15 times as long, and the most important thing, it's not as fun. Like doing this all by yourself and then adding just one person, it just makes it way more fun. You match like the visions, you create ideas, you're talking with somebody, and filming in public with somebody else is way easier. You don't even think about, who's around. You're just like enjoying it. Yeah. Versus when you're by yourself, you're like kind of like you're looking around a little anxious, like what's going on? I don't know. It's way easier to be relaxed when you have people. But yeah, I really want the quality to be better. And I feel like that's something that if you want to grow, you got to kind of work on. As they always say, like the better the video, the more like the better it's going to do.
Yeah, dude. And I think you touched on a really important point there is like there's a lot of people our age who are starting businesses now. Like we are the generation who are starting to like be entrepreneurs and start our own things. And I'm starting to learn that you can't do it alone. Like if you want to do anything at a high level, like you have to have people in your corner. You have to have people to help you. Like when you say editors, like that is something I'm actually looking for too, because it's like, it feels like you get home from work, you have a full-time job, so you understand, like you get home from work and it's like, all right, this is what I have to do. Like it's either I have a social life or I do this, or I do both poorly, but like equal, you know what I'm saying? So like it's tough to manage. And especially something like film, like I said earlier, you're filming it, it's super fun, and it's like, you're figuring out all these different shots, and like, this is a cool shot, this is gonna look great, and then you edit and it's like, sometimes you're like, this is gonna be really cool, like the hike video I'm editing, because you're really passionate about it and you want to do it, but when you do it as a job, it's like, it starts to get old and you start to fall into these grooves where you're not really getting much better, and you're just kind of like coasting and you're editing the same way.
Exactly.
And I found that with my job, because my full-time job is filming and photography and videography, and you kind of get stuck in this little echo chamber in a way, so it's good to like branch out and try different things and remember why you started in the first place. Yes, dude, remembering why you started in the first place is the most important thing ever, because there's been so many times where it just gets super overwhelming, and it's like, I like to look back and I'm like, dude, if 16-year-old Reno would have seen what I have now, like he would be so happy. Like, and it's just so relative where you always are going to want more. Like I think about now, like my first ever brand deal was $25. Now if a brand offers me like a few hundred, it's like, no offense, but it's like, it's not worth my time. I'm sorry, but it's like some brands are a lot of work to work with. Some are super easy and they'll want me to make a video. They don't script it, and I get to make it and I post it, and it's awesome. But some brands, they want me to say these certain things. They want me to highlight this. And it's like the amount of time that it's going to take, it's unfortunately not worth it, but it's sad to think that that's never going to end. There's always going to be more. So you got to humble yourself and think, why did I start? And this is why I started, because it's fun. I enjoy it, and it's meant to be a side thing for me right now. Yeah. Do you think with your following that, especially with like scripted stuff, do you think, is your life different now that you have way more eyes on you? Like, is there a different feeling you have than when you first started?
Yeah, I will say. And it was really weird because when I first started, I moved out to Phoenix. I didn't know anybody. So like I was starting to like get some traction, but I really had this mindset of like, I didn't care about anything. I was posting like every single video I made. And, now that I moved back to Cleveland and, it's not as like normal, I would say, to be recording yourself at a coffee shop, making content. There's just not as many people that do it. And that has pros and cons. And I want to get to that pros and cons because it's actually really interesting. But I will say, like there's sometimes in like public settings where sometimes I do feel like, what if there's somebody just like watching me right now? And it's this like weird, I feel like a lot of people have that, but now I feel like it's like more real just because like, I post at the Run Club. Every week I post a video of me at the Run Club. So I know there's people at the Run Club that, know me. And it's like, I love it when people come up and say hi, because I don't love starting conversations, but I love talking to people. So if people will start the conversation, like I love talking to them, but I find it weird that I'm like, dude, I wonder if people are just kind of like looking at me right now, and then like, that's the guy that, but it's whatever. I mean, what you don't know can't hurt you. So I try not to think about it too much. Yeah,
it's definitely a good and bad thing. But you were kind of talking about, I remember last time we talked, you were saying how it's really hard to like film in a quiet coffee shop.
Yeah.
And everyone's kind of looking at you. How do you kind of navigate that? And have you gotten better at it?
I would love to say I've gotten better on it. It depends on my mood. It depends on like three things. First of all, I wake up in a good mood or a bad mood. If the video that I'm like planning, if I'm excited about, right? If it's a video that like you see that vision, sometimes you just have an idea and you're like, oh, I can't wait to execute. Then I don't think twice about it. But if it's a video that I'm not that excited for and I'm just like, I need to get some content, that's another thing. And then it depends who's at the coffee shop. If it's crowded, that makes it obviously really harder. Or if like there's an attractive girl there and you're like, I don't want to pull out the tripod with this girl looking at me. It's like those are the main things that go through my head when I'm filming in public. But no, it gets easier over time. And that's what I was going to say in the tangent. Like I went to New York City a few weekends ago. It was so normalized there that like it was beautiful. I was like, I could see this being like, this is why it's so big here. It's obviously one of the biggest cities in the world. So millions of people are already going to be interested. If you're like, I'm in New York City, all the people that live in New York City can relate, versus in Cleveland, there's only like 300,000 people. So already that little pool of I'm in Cleveland, there's less. But then the pro of that is I just got invited to like a Cavs game. If I was in New York City, there ain't no way the New York Knicks are inviting me to the Cavs game, because there's so many people, there's so many famous people. But in Cleveland, like I said, not many people do it. So it's like, it is cool that I might stand out even with the lower following. Because I don't think, I would say until you get to like 100K or over, that's like a validating, okay, you're like a pretty big influencer. I would still say under 100K is like micro, with how big numbers are now. Like people are just, they're so big with their platforms. Yeah, I agree with you, dude. It feels like 100K followers now is the new like 10K. Yeah, literally. Because I remember like people would have 10K followers, like, oh, who is this 10K guy? Was crazy back in like the day. I remember like in high school, like getting over like 1,000 as like a normal person was like, you were like a really popular person. And then like, the people that were really good at football or something would have like, 3 or 4K. But it's crazy to think that literally people have hundreds of millions of like followers. And it's just like, wow. You look at someone like Mr. Beast. I don't follow it, but I do know he's got at least, 400K or 400,000 on 400 million, sorry. 400 over million? 400 million on YouTube subscribers. I thought it was going to be like 100 million. That's crazy. Dude, I love Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is the GOAT. Well, I will say, like, he has mastered keeping attention, because I watch his videos. I mean, I don't watch his videos, but I'll see a video of his now, and it's like, there's something happening every second. He literally studies that his whole life. And he's got a team, like, it is very impressive. And I love how it's like, the money that he just pushes back into it is just amazing. Like, there's always going to be haters and people hate on him for that, but I'm like, what else do you want him to do? Like, he loves to make YouTube videos, so he just reinvests everything. It's like, what would you rather him doing? Buying a big house, buying fancy cars, like every other YouTuber does. So it's just like, I don't know, I really love his business model, and I can't imagine that, like, his lifestyle. It's probably so stressful. It's insane. People think like, oh, it's Mr. Beast. He probably has the funnest life ever. But the amount he's recording and like doing voiceovers for and all that, I could not imagine the amount of stress that he has. Well, that's the reality of it, man. It's like, if you want to do anything at a very high level like he does, like, it's probably going to suck. Yeah. Like, you're going to have days where you're like, I don't want to do this. And that's natural, because like, to do anything great, you really have to do things you don't want to do. And like, people think it's this great thing, like, oh, I'm just making money, like that's all it is, and I'm having a great life, like, and it is great. But like, if you have a vision, you have to navigate that. And also, like, people are also going to hate. Like, if you're being hated on, it probably means you're really popular. Yeah. Because like, the thing about social media nowadays is just like, people are sad with their own lives and they seek some kind of
weird like reprieve in hating on others online. Like, I don't know if you've noticed that at all, but it's crazy how much people are hating because it's not face to face.
Yeah, no, 100%. I always feel bad for people that hate because I always just immediately think of somebody's just like when you were scrolling through reels, you know, you're usually just like on the couch scrolling, and it's like I just feel bad that somebody's just kind of wasting their time doing that. Like, you know, you're scrolling through. If you want to stop to just spread that hate, it's just like, unless if somebody's just straight up being an asshole on the internet, like whatever. But no, I don't know. I don't get too many hate comments. I just don't think I'm big enough. But I will say, like, when I do occasionally get them, I'm like, I always say kill them with kindness. I just feel like that's the only way to deal with it. Like, it's just going to waste my time if I argue back with them or whatever. Yeah. And it's like, dude, people will be like, dude, nobody cares. And it's like, I don't expect anybody to care. I'm just posting this because I want to post it.
Exactly.
Like, that's not offensive to me. I will say, though, criticism is awesome. Like, I love it when people, even if it's a harsh way, will give something like, you know, music's too loud or something. Like, turn the effing music down. Or something. Like, sometimes those things are really good because you can learn from them a lot. And, yeah, I think there's a balance between just straight up hate and criticism that can be really beneficial.
Yeah, and it's important not to feed it because a lot of people make it worse by I always see these influencers who are pretty big, like 500,000 followers and over, who are responding to like these hate comments. They're like, well, I don't normally respond to these hate comments, but I'm going to respond to this one. Yeah. They think that like they're doing so in a way that's that makes sense, and they think that they're doing the right thing, but at the end of the day, they're still feeding it. And it's still like that person who sent the hate comment, it could be like a 10-year-old. Yeah. Like, you have no idea. True. You have no idea who these people are.
I haven't thought about like the age. I always think of this like an old dude. Yeah. Some of this guy. That's true. It could be like an 8-year-old that just like doesn't agree with you.
Anybody.
That is so valid.
Yeah. And I remember I got one on one of my videos, and I was just like, this doesn't make any sense because this
video gets you fired up, right?
You're like, you read it and you're like, I want to respond to it. I'm like, this mother. And like, but then I waited. I just let it simmer for like 2 hours. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to say thank you. Yeah. Appreciate the comment. Thanks for watching. Because it was like something about, it was one of my Lightroom tutorials. And he was like, why don't you just use blank? And I'm like, and it was like very like kind of passive aggressive. And I was like, you know what? I'll maybe try that next time. Thanks for the suggestion. Yeah. And I just liked it. But if I would have said like, oh, because I was thinking like, I just did that so people like you would comment, give me more engagement. But it's like, you got to take the high road. Yeah. You know, you can't feed it.
And I just feel like taking things out of context is risky too. Like, not everyone is going to see all your stuff. They're going to see every once in a while a blimp of what you're doing. So it's like, if you reply and you say something that maybe makes sense to you, makes sense to everyone that watches you, if a random person sees it and it's like they don't understand what you're doing, whatever, where you're coming from, they might see it as, well, that was a mean reply, you know? Like, so I also just don't like that too, because I know I post every day, so I'm on my page every day, but I think, dude, some random person that comes on, if they just started following me and then they see me replying with like triggering hate or something, it's just like their immediate things are going to be like, I'm ungrateful, or like I'm like, you know.
But they're also looking for you to have a reaction. Yeah. That's where they get off. You know? Like, that's what they want out of you.
That is true. They love it. Dude, when you see people reply, like if you see like a strand, I always wonder who has that much time to do that. They'll like send paragraphs, and I'm like, that's crazy they actually go back to respond. But hey, be them. I reply to most of my comments, so I'm doing it too, but just in a different way.
Yeah, dude. I always am torn between replying, because it's like, if I reply to these comments, I should reply to all of them. You know, like, what do you think about that? Like,
I reply to ones that are positive or nice, or like I said, criticism. Sometimes I will get sexualized in my videos. Yeah. I don't reply to any of those. And like when I first started, I would really emphasize, when I was super obsessed, I would try to respond to everybody, even DMs, every platform. And eventually that gets overwhelming to a certain point. Like, even, you know, the numbers aren't that crazy, but it's like, okay, if I'm gonna do this every day, it takes 30 minutes here, hour there. It's just too much to handle. So I try to respond to the people that are consistently coming back and like try to build that relationship. But I also want to talk about, what are your opinions on, because we're doing social media, but I do think social media is very, very toxic for like our lives, especially this younger generation, and how like comparison is the thief of joy. And when you wake up on a Monday morning and you see somebody on vacation in like Spain, and you're just like, how am I supposed to go to work, sit at my desk, and just like, you know, after I just seen everybody's highlight reel, it's all, everyone posted the best stuff, me included. That's why like sometimes I think like, I'm like, I want to try to post real stuff, because I'm like, you know, when you wake up in the morning, and it's like when you wake up in the morning and, you know, you see somebody, I've already ran 10 miles. That's not a good feeling when you wake up at 8 a.m., you slept in, you see that, and I'm like, I am posting that. But then it's also like, I think it's the algorithms. I don't think it's the creator's fault, you know?
No, I think we've definitely entered, like I was saying earlier, it's transactional. Like, we've entered an era in social media where, like I said, it is transactional. People are posting for the likes, for the views, and that means like posting some really cool shit.
Yeah.
And I think everybody struggles with this, because you see someone who's like, even my Instagram, like I've been traveling a lot, but like I don't really post when I'm not traveling, you know? So people are probably like, I have people come up to me who are like I had some guy
travel so much.
I had a friend come up to me the other day, or not a friend, but someone I worked with, and he does some really cool photography for 614 magazine. I really look up to him. He has some great photography. But he came up to me and he was like, are you done traveling? Like, are you in Columbus? I'm like, well, when I do travel, it's like once every 2 months, but like all you see on my Instagram is travel. So it's like, I am part of the problem, but at the same time, it's like, no one's like, I would love to post a picture of me at my desk working, having a great time working, but like no one wants to see that. And like, it's not something I want to post. So it's like, we're entering this really weird era, and it's really, really, really bad for your mental health to see all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
like I said, it's like the algorithm, because you got to think like when TVs came out, you know, and there's like cartoons and all that. I bet all those parents were telling their kids, oh, don't watch that TV. It's going to rot your brain. Obviously, we've had TVs now for decades, and like, it's not that big of a deal. And now we're seeing the same thing where, oh, TikTok is going to rot your brain and stuff. But I feel like that could actually rot your brain. I feel like we've seen it. Like, so it is going to be interesting to see the long-term effects of it. But
well, we're not seeing like, even with like rock music back in like the 70s, the parents wouldn't let their kids listen to rock music, and it's the same thing. But like, rock music didn't cause depression. You know, TVs didn't necessarily cause depression. Social media, you know, I don't want to talk out of turn,
that's
but
true.
like,
that is true.
The more I use social media, the more depressed I am.
100%.
And that is just what I've noticed. That is the truth in my life, and I know a lot of other people's lives as well. And I think I have a theory. Actually, it's more than a theory. I feel like a lot of people have proved this, but like, you have to let your brain. We've cured boredom. Yeah. At the end of the day, we've cured boredom.
Dude, that is literally fact. I think about that all the time. Like, we are never bored. No. In our society, we are never bored. Like, dude, the worst thing is when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is check your phone, and then you start scrolling. And like, the next thing you know, the first 30 minutes of your day, you've been scrolling, which is like, I hate how we know so much about dopamine, and it's like they say it just lights up your dopamine. And then even worse than that is the last hour before you go to bed, you just scroll. And it's like, it's so sad to think about how much time we're going to have wasted in our whole life on this. And that's why I try to be on the creator side of it, because I'm like, at least majority of it for me is I'm putting out content, which I think is just super healthy thing to do. But I do consume a lot. And yeah, when I notice I'm like consuming way more, it 100% just makes me, you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's becoming a really addictive drug. It's like this is going to be TMI. When you sit in the toilet, try sitting on the toilet without your phone. It is like the most boring. Like, it is so hard to just sit there in silence. You're just like, what do I do?
Yeah, dude. That's funny you say that, because like, I've been experimenting with it a little bit. I have this app called Opal, and it blocks. I've heard of it. It blocks like my social media apps whenever I want it to. But I have like a few different blocks. Like in the morning, whenever I'm prone to being on my phone a lot, like in the morning when I wake up and my phone alarm goes off, like the first thing you do, you check your notifications, and then somehow you end up on Instagram Reels.
Every time.
But like they've engineered it to be that way.
Yeah.
And it's like, but if you block it, and there's almost nothing you can do to like not do it, because you have to make it so that when you are prone to do it, that you don't do it. So I have a block in the morning. After I get home from work, it's blocked so that I don't sit on the couch and then end up an hour and a half on social media, you know, and it's really worked. Like my brain is much less foggy. Like I'm more social. I think that's the big thing too, is like the more time I spend on social media and I go out to like a social event, it's like I'm awkward and I almost like don't want to talk. It's weird, dude. And I hate that because I'm a very social person and it makes me this thing that I'm not. And that's what I really don't like about it. But I think I'm worried the most about like when I have kids, or when our generation has kids, like I would hope that we understand it to a point where like we aren't giving our kids phones when they're like 5.
There needs to be like restrictions. I mean, think there's gonna be a term that's like, you know, a kid might be like, yeah, my dad's addicted to, or there'll probably be a word for it, but like there's gonna be parents that are addicted to social media and they consume it too much, and that's scary to think about. Because, you know, kids need attention.
Well, dude, I feel like everyone has an addiction to some level.
Yeah.
To social media, and it's sad.
I do envy the people. If I like to say to myself, if I didn't post on social media, I would delete them all and just be disconnected. But then you disconnect. Like that's also not the answer. Because like you don't want to be the person that just doesn't know what's going on. And unfortunately, social media is where everyone figures everything out. Yeah. And it's like, oh, dude, we got to talk about AI too.
Oh yeah, sure.
But it's like, for example, AI was like, if you didn't have social media, you would not learn about AI like you can through social media. Like you wouldn't really be hearing about it as much because it's everywhere there. And it's a really good outlet. It just sucks that and that's why I blame the algorithm. It sucks that it's being pushed this way. And that's why I don't like TikTok the most, because TikTok, when you open up that app, it turns off everything else on your phone, immediately starts playing the most catchy 15 seconds of the best songs in the world right now. And it's like, so immediately, you know, you're just hooked to the good music. And then there will be like the most viral clips in the world. Like,
yeah, you see like 7 million likes.
It's crazy. Like you literally see the most famous people, like, what is this guy doing? And then all the rage bait, all the fear mongering, all this other stuff that's also included that just pulls you in. And then once you get on, next thing you know, time just flies.
Yeah, dude. And also, like, we should also talk about, like, seeing things you shouldn't be seeing on Instagram. Like violence, like people dying on Instagram. I'm not talking about Charlie Kirk, and I'm not going to get into it. But, like, just in general, like, some dude just getting hit with a tire that was rolling down the road, and now he's dead. And it's like, I just saw that. And I can't unsee that now.
It's great. And it's like, dude, imagine kids seeing that.
And it's like,
they're just gonna get numb to it. That's what I think. It's like already we're like, wow, some of this stuff is crazy. Yeah. But I feel like if you're gonna be raised on it, it's just gonna be normal, and you're not gonna know what's, I don't want to say right or wrong, but you're not gonna know what's like, real or fake.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like we were raised on it, because I remember like I had older friends growing up, and they would show me videos of like some crazy stuff, and like I shouldn't have been seeing that stuff, and like. It does something to you. It's not a good thing. And like we're desensitized at the end of the day. And kind of getting back to like the AI thing, it's all output. Like with AI, we can do so much more now. People can do so much more things with their business, like.
But we're still at the office for 40 hours a week.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's at a point now where it really can like truly replace. It's going to be there very, very soon. It's
going to be interesting when that does happen,
because it is accelerating at a rate that like we've never seen. And this is bigger than like, you know, everyone's saying it's bigger than the Industrial Revolution, like the impact. And like, that's such a crazy thing. And it's scary, dude. Like, I think nobody really knows where it's going to go, but like, I feel like nobody really talks about the good things that'll come out of it. I feel like it's always like this could be bad.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's interesting, actually. We had a town hall meeting for Q3, and the CEO of the company I work for got asked a question about AI, and he was all like, we should be using it, like, and stuff. We have Copilot on our computers and stuff, and he's like, this is going to be a really cool tool for the future that will make a lot of processes way easier, way more, just easier and faster. So it was really cool to see, like the leader of who you work for talk about it in a positive way, and it will. Like, there's been some projects I've worked on where, it just cleans up data very nicely, and I'm like, this is going to be huge for the future. Then it's going to get scary. A lot of data entry positions are going to be gone once they figure out how to actually incorporate them into the companies. But the thing is that's so hard is like, all this information is like classified. You can't just like be putting it into, the search engine. So it's going to have to be like private AI companies that will go, and I feel like that's how it's going to have to work when businesses start incorporating it a lot more. But I think it's going to make the process of work just way more efficient. And then eventually that's going to drive up unemployment very high. Because if you could run your whole company, like if I could have an AI editor that could edit exactly what I wanted to, and it was, $50 a month, like that would be insane. Yeah.
I will say, I'm glad you brought that up, because like I've used it a lot for my business. There's a lot of things that just like I would have spent 2 or 3 hours on that I can spend like 20 minutes on. And that's like, just as well as I do that time is like the most important asset you have.
Yes.
And time, I just remember when I was done swimming, I swam at Ohio State. When I was done swimming, I was like, I have so much time. Like, what am I going to do with all this time? And then I started a full-time job, and then I started my business, and that grew. And then it's like, oh, I have no time because I'm going to work, and then going home from work, well, I have to work on these projects, like when else am I going to do them?
Yeah.
Right. So like AI can definitely help in that area. We're like reducing time on certain tasks. But what you said about the jobs, like, yeah, they will take those jobs, but it makes me wonder, like, people still need to run the AI or train the AI.
It could create new jobs.
Maybe like there'll be entry-level jobs for AI companies that we don't even know exist yet. Like, I don't like to be as bleak as a lot of people are saying, but like, I think it could be bad if we let it get bad, but I think we need to learn. I don't think there's anything that we can do to be prepared for it, is what I want to say, because like, I think it's going to be so crazy that like, it's going to be hard for us to kind of understand at first.
Yeah. I like to also think about our parents talk about, we didn't have cell phones growing up, and we're like, wow, what a different world. I feel like our kids now, let's say, we didn't have AI when we grow up. That's the pessimistic view of like critical thinking skills. I've already seen it in my like process. Now when I have like a complex question that it's going to take me researching to figure out, but now I don't have to go through all those steps, and I can just ask something that will give me the closest answer to what I'm looking for. I feel like kids growing up, that's going to be very cool. But then it could make them just like superhuman, because like how we are with phones and how much it's helped us connect and all the opportunities that come with it, they might be smart and then just be even more smarter because they have access to all this stuff, and it might be like one of the greatest things ever. But I'm really curious, like, what's the school system going to be like writing? I was so bad at writing, and like, it's like grammar, I don't know how to do grammar. It's just something that was really hard for me, and now that's not important at all in life. Like, I can literally say, hey, clean this up. Bang. Like, when I respond to brand new emails, it is so efficient because I literally just copy paste, reply with, and I put in the notes that I want it to reply with, and it comes in like a very nice format. And it's just like, that saves me so much time, and I don't have to worry about my sloppy, writing techniques.
Yeah, dude. And especially, I'm really like curious to see how schools will handle it, because like, I think we got out of it just as like it's starting to get crazy, but there's no like standardized, like there's some teachers that are like, well, you can't use AI and we'll scan for it, and there's some that don't even mention it, and it's like, it's hard to see a future where there's not going to be a standardized AI thing.
There has to be.
Like, there's going to be.
I really dislike teachers that don't think about like that for the future. Like, I had a professor once that we didn't get to use Excel. We didn't get to use like a good calculator. We had to use like a standardized calculator and all this stuff to do all these calculations and these tests. In my job, that is like, it was, in most jobs, that is so stupid. Like, I'm sorry, but all my work is in Excel. All of this is like, you do it. So it's like, when teachers don't think about, you know, how is this going to actually help their life, but rather than like the old fashioned ways of like, you need to do it like yourself, it just doesn't make much sense. I did have a professor once that said, use AI on your final exam. He's like, because he was an actual business owner. I respected him a lot because he had a business and he knows. He's like, dude, if you can do this whole thing and you can, because AI was really new when we were in school. It's like, if you can figure out how to do this final with AI, he's like, that's impressive. And he's like, if you can do it well, like, go for it. He's like, this is what the future is going to be. So you've got to accept it. You can't just kind of push it away.
Yeah, I just finished one of my last classes at Ohio State. I graduate December. I took an accelerated class that was only 7 weeks, and I just finished like last week. But
congrats.
Thank you. But she actually integrated AI into it. Like, she would have us use AI it was a technical writing course, and she would have us use AI to like scan a document and make a draft of like a technical document and then make your own and then compare it. And it's like, that's how I feel we should be doing it. Cause like your CEO said, like, we should be using it, because guess what? It's going to be it's going to be hard to not use AI in the next, like, think about 10 years from now. Like, we are going to be using AI. And if you're not using AI, you're going to be behind, especially if you have a business, especially if you're doing anything important. Like, you just have to.
Yeah.
You have to, like, even social media, like, you kind of have to have a presence to be successful. Of course, there's exceptions. Of course, there's a lot of businesses that are successful. I think we're moving away from like...
I'm so happy you said that, though, because I agree. The opportunity on social media is insane. And it's crazy that, you know, like, people that will hate that would be like, it's super cringe and all that. I look at that, I'm like, it is crazy that you're still saying that, because it is, and it really was, but I'm like, it's the opportunity of like kind of a lifetime, and there's no risk, and there's like unlimited potential. As you see someone like Mr. Beast, talk about unlimited potential. You can go however high you want. And the only risk I would say now is, and it's only if you have a big platform, is like being canceled. And that's like also how you take it. That's not like just to say, if somebody else doesn't agree with you on an opinion, if you just, you know, that's how you think, it's whatever. But like, there's really no risk to it. You really can only go up. So I just feel like at any scale, experimenting with it. Like, when people don't post on Instagram at all, I'm like, imagine like you went to college, you have a job, like, imagine just never posting on LinkedIn, right? You wouldn't do that. You post on LinkedIn probably because you kind of have to. They tell you to do it. It's really good for your professional career. But then, like, you know, my friends, we were single and we were trying to go out and meet girls, and I was like, dude, you have 2 Instagram posts. I was like, when a girl goes on your page and like she looks at your thing, and I'm not saying like when I give out my personal Instagram, I don't give out my social media one, but I'm like, when a girl goes on your page and they want to see what you're about and stuff, and your last post is from 2017, I'm like, they're gonna scroll off and they're not gonna really think about you again. It's like, it's kind of like attached to us, and it's like, if you really don't like that, then yeah, for all means, don't post on it. But I'm just saying,
there are some girls that actually like when a guy doesn't post a lot on Instagram.
And I'm sure that's true too.
Yeah.
That probably is true. But
I do agree with you. Like, it's kind of weird, and it's kind of like, I hate to say it, but it's almost like this person doesn't even exist in my head.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't talk to them on a day-to-day basis, you kind of just forget about them, and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Like, people from high school, especially, who don't post, it's like, I'm not going to remember, because we take in so much information every day that, like, the information that's not immediately in front of us, we're going to forget.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of a tangent, but like, I think there's going to be a big like memory loss. Like, when our generation gets older, I feel like we're taking in so much information that it's like our brains are like, well, what do we keep? What do we not?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's going to be a problem, I think.
Oh, I think so too. I think already too, because we don't live in the moment as much. Like, when I go on some of these hikes and stuff, I'm recording a lot, and it's super cool that I'll have that. But also, since I'm so focused sometimes on, okay, I want to get this scene, I'm not really in the moment because I'm like thinking about trying to make this cinematic or whatever it may be. But going back to the Instagram, like, I feel like on my personal account, just 2 times a year, that's it. I feel like that can really go a long way, and it's kind of like your own little like resume. But it's so interesting too, because like how you said, people from high school, we're in such like an interest media where it's only For You page, it's only like pushing out what you are interested in, what you want. I don't really see like what people post anymore, because like I don't go on Instagram, and a lot of the times I don't like check my feed. I'll just kind of, you just go in Reels for a little bit, you scroll, and you'll see what like is going on in the world, but
it just really navigates you to Reels.
Yeah, it really, there's no like, it's not at all what it used to be on like, you know, keeping up to date with people's lives. It's like, if it's really two routes, you could have that, but it's really like business oriented. It's really like branding and stuff. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I don't see my friends' posts. I'll see it like 3 days later.
Yeah. I see that too. I'm like, oh, I can't really comment. It's been like a week.
Yeah, dude. And like, then there's people who don't see my stuff that are like some of my best friends, and it's like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And like, they made the feature where you can click up there and you can click your following, but like, they make it so like kind of hidden that it's just like, you're just going to naturally go. And sometimes you open the app and it's just on Reels. And then you're just like, and you're just kind of get hypnotized by it. But it's like, it's crazy. Kind of back to what I was saying about the boredom thing. It's like when we're scrolling on Reels, we're not giving our brains time to process anything. So like I would have people in my life who are not in my life anymore, but like, they would get home from work and they would be like, oh, I have to go on Instagram. I have to have my phone time. And it's like, to me, that was just so backwards. It's like, this makes no sense, because you have a stressful day and then you think that social media or like scrolling is going to, in some way a therapy to you. But what you don't know is that like your brain is off. You're just numbing things. And then by the time you have to go to sleep or to go to bed,
all those problems come right back.
And then you can't go to sleep because you're just thinking about what you should have been thinking about when you got home from work.
Yeah.
And you're not letting your brain do its thing and tell you. That's the other thing. Your brain will tell you what you need to do. You just need to listen to it.
Yeah.
You know, and we're not doing that nowadays. And that's why people are so lost and depressed, because they don't find purpose, because they're not letting, like, that's the biggest thing I've found with, when I've been experimenting with boredom, is that like, it's good to be bored, because the most creative ideas I've ever had came out of boredom. Like, it's just a good thing we need to have in our lives. And when we don't have it, we're going to feel lost.
It's literally like how I always want to read. I don't ever read. I always am like, that would be awesome. How am I supposed to read before I go to bed? With our monkey brains, like I can scroll through TikTok. That's going to be the most entertaining thing in the world right now. Or like the focus on a book. It is so hard to focus on reading a book. And it's like, that's super sad, because there's so much value in one thing and so much like destruction in another. But it's really hard for, you know, a book to compete.
Yeah, dude, I will say, I will have the question of like, when you're scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, is it things that you really like? Because you don't choose what you see. You're just, the algorithm almost just tells you or gives you whatever it gives you. But like,
that's why I love YouTube.
You never sit down and I'm like, oh, I want to scroll on Reels right now. You just end up on it.
Yeah.
Like it's never something you plan to do. And that makes me think that it's like, well, this is literally just a drug.
Yeah.
And like, it's half these videos I forget. Like, if you ask me, like, the last video I saw, like, I couldn't tell you, because even if I scrolled 2 videos ahead and you asked me, like, what was 2 videos before this one? No idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
No,
and it's like, why am I doing that? It's literally just, like, like pleasure that's just short, you know?
It's like, that's where I feel like TikTok, it's all nonsense. Like, I don't get anything out of it. I love YouTube for that reason. YouTube, my For You page, it will be like actual videos, and it will be like podcasts from, you know, one of my favorite creators, or it will be, you know, it'll be like a Mr. Beast video, but it'll also be like another creator that makes like cinematic vlogs. And it is what I'm actually interested in, versus TikTok. It's just, what are the most viral things? And it's literally just like wasting time. Like, it will be some bizarre thing that you've never seen before, but it really doesn't give you any value. And then Instagram, I'll say, since I post day in the life, and I'm on Instagram, I'd say the most in terms of like the business side and like the content. It's mostly just every day in the life person that makes day in the life content. That's what my For You page is.
Yeah.
That's why I struggled with that comparison, because I was comparing people that were better than me for a while, and I was like, oh, I need to do what they're doing. No, you don't. You never need to do what everyone else is doing, because you don't. That's not why you started. I didn't start because he's doing that and it's working. That's not my thing. My thing is what I wanted to do in my simple life.
Yeah. Well, the thing I always think of is like, I see someone doing something cool and I'm like, damn, why didn't I think of that? And I want to do the same thing. But then it's like, I don't want to do the same thing, because if you do the same thing as someone else, especially if what they are doing is like original, you can never be at their level, because they will always be that person to do that thing. But
I think you can do it in your own way. I will argue that.
Agree with you on that. But like, even in my world with like cinematography and photography and all that stuff, like I'll see these trends, and that's kind of why I'm kind of moving away from social media. Not completely, but like, I just don't go on it as much, because I know where it leads, and I know it's just like, it'll always lead to me just scrolling for no reason. And I just think that there's not a whole lot of originality nowadays, and especially with AI, things are just going to get, like, people are using the same AI, and obviously it's catered to you, like it has the memory that of previous chats and everything like that. But like, I think things are going to start looking the same, and like there's going to be less and less like original content or original whatever, because people are going to start thinking like the AI, because they use it for everything. And it's like, I think that could be a real problem as well. I
think when AI gets to the point where we can't identify what's real and what's fake, that's going to be scary. And I think it's going to be really bad for creators. But I also feel the same way of like, I don't know why, if we're really to the point where we're just scrolling through AI videos, that is even like lower than watching real creators waste our time. Like, I feel like that's going to be, I don't know. I don't, like, there's this new app coming out called Sora. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's going to be like an AI. I can't imagine, if it's all AI, I can't imagine that's going to be that entertaining. I bet millions of people will love it and they'll scroll through it. But I imagine like, going on that app is really going to feel bad. Like, you are literally just watching generated fake stuff that's not bringing any value.
To that point, it's also like, you're seeing things that are more and more like visually pleasing. Like things way more saturation, like quicker, like, and with AI, there's like unlimited possibilities, and like,
talk about
it
creativity.
makes it hard for like creators like us. Because, I mean, like, especially for me, when I take photos and videos, like, I'm really proud of them. And I think, like, I've practiced a lot, and I've had a lot of experience to get to where I'm at. But it's like, it could never be as, pleasing to the brain as, like, an AI image or something of the sort. And I think it's going to get washed out, and less people are going to appreciate like real, like good art or photography or whatever it is. And I've already started noticing that, I think, which is sad, but it's like, how do we evolve with it and work with it? I think that'll be the most important thing, is like not writing it off. Because there's a lot of people who are like, this AI thing is so dumb, I'm not going to pay any attention to it. And it's like, dude, if that's what you think, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say it, but like, it has to be a thing in your life, and it will be soon enough.
Yeah. I agree with that too. I feel like at the beginning I was like, I don't know what to use it for. I don't know what to like, how to utilize it. I still don't think I'm utilizing it that much, but I will say, for, like I said, simple things, emails, easy questions, it's just efficient.
Yeah. I think back to like computers, or like even calculators when they first came out. I don't know when that became a thing, but like it just, like, especially with computers, like data entry, all that kind of stuff, used to have to do it by hand, and it was a lot more intense. Like, it took a lot more time. And when that came out, and when that started to become a normal thing with computers, a lot of things became way easier for people. And like, processes became way more efficient. And I think it's similar to that kind of thing. But I guess on that note, we'll finish up. But I appreciate you coming in. I know you don't have a lot of time here in Columbus, but appreciate you stopping by, and good luck at the marathon tomorrow.
We'll for sure do it again, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll get some good cinematic clips. We got to make a YouTube video together.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
All right.
All right, brother.